almost comes into play in your work. I mean, how do you think you've expanded your skill sets as actors through working on the Uncharted series?
Well, for me, it's absolutely made me a better actor, just for the simple fact that I get to work with a lot of really, really good actors. Even Emily.
You're kind.
You know, but I have. I mean, and all joking aside, I mean, Emily's very accomplished, and we've been able to grow and work together over the last few series. And then there's Graham McTavish, Renee Aubergenois came in and did some work. Richard McGonigal, who I think is just fantastic. And you get to work with really quality actors, and it's like playing sports against somebody who's a little better than you. You get better. You step up your game. And so I think I've definitely gotten better in my. Do I have ways to go? Yeah, but I'm getting there.
I think too, one of the things I've really enjoyed is that when you get a chance to, one of the things I love about theater is the rehearsal time. The more time you have, the more you're able to determine what type of choices your character would make and understand the world in which you live. And with television, it's so quick, things move very quickly, and you're not really given any sort of rehearsal time except for maybe 10 minutes prior if you're lucky. And so being able to play a character for so long on the series, you become very comfortable with that character. And I think just a lot of the, usual nerves or the first layer that you have to kind of get through when you start working on a character to try to figure out who they are. As these games go on, that's just kind of melted away, and it's just more authentic and easier to be the character. So that's nice. It's nice to come home to a character again and to know that it's a safe place.
Should we go to the floor? Have you had a think? Has anybody any questions?
Yeah, the cargo plane sequence. I think that shows how much you have worked together and perhaps steps up the game a bit when it comes to emotions in video games, where you say bye to Elena.
Oh, at the gate, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which
After you have pulled that trick on
Yes, which she tried to recreate
We tried
at
to
the
recreate
gate
it
at the
again
front.
today, but he'd have nothing of it.
Well, the gate wasn't high enough. There was no risk.
But could you say something about that scene? And is it right that you two know each other so much better than you did from the first game?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is that scene an example of that?
Yeah, I think what was neat about that scene for me, well, the challenge for me with Elena is the ability to make her strong and make sure she doesn't come off like a witch or someone who's, just very frustrated and sort of shut down, to keep her curious and to keep her enjoyable and, friendly and all those things, but yet still having the spunk and the courage and the drive to say what he needs to hear when he needs to hear it and to keep us on course. And I think that was one of those moments where, obviously when we pick up Uncharted 3 at the beginning, when you see them together again for the first time, you will see that there was a lot that's unsaid that maybe needs to be said but cannot be said. And so I think that sort of mirrors that feeling at the gate. There's a lot that needs to be said, but there's no time to say it. And so it's neat to play scenes like that because it's not necessarily about the words, it's about the connection. And the fact that this video game taps into those connections and portrays them so well, and that you feel them and you respond to them, I think that's part of the hook and the allure of Uncharted. And I love playing those scenes.
Yeah, and I think sometimes the best performances, the best things an actor can say is what they say when they're not speaking, if that makes sense. And the one thing that this game is amazing at, and especially this Uncharted 3, they've given us the time to be quiet. And I think it's really, really rare. But if you watch that scene, there's just that moment that, Drake looks back and sees the Jeep, and it's just and that's why I was talking earlier about the facial animators, just that what he's thinking. And now I gave that performance, but the fact that the animator translated it through technology to bring it out like that. And then once he got over that, there was count the times that they're just looking at each other, and you're still engrossed in that performance because it was just handled so well by Naughty Dog and what they did. They always give us the credit. They say, well, we couldn't do it without you. It's like, yeah, but we couldn't do it. It's a real combination. And I think it's this game, and that's only one of the scenes. There are a couple other scenes where they just let silence do so much talking. And if they weren't as good at their jobs, then it would look weird. It just wouldn't work. But it did.
I think maybe other gaming companies, I don't know for sure, but that other video games might be afraid to take pause because it's all about the action and keeping it going and urgency, keep it moving. So the fact that they're courageous enough to give us space and to give us time and allow the characters to sort of sit and the player to sit with the characters and really look at them and connect with them is really cool.
I'll try to do it as best I can because sometimes I'm still working it out.
You said it very well yesterday.
That was yesterday.
Yeah.
I've been hit in the head a lot. I've fallen off my bike quite a bit. Amy Hennig, our head writer, our creative director, makes it a point that every Uncharted game has what she calls the historical hook. It's based in something real. The first game being Sir Francis Drake, the second, in his ring and his search, circumnavigation of the globe. The second game had Marco Polo's and his travels, and in the third game, she's kind of done a mix of those two. She's brought back Francis Drake during his circumnavigation of the globe. There are 6 months, and this historical fact, in his journey logs, 6 months from 1579 to 1580, somewhere in there. Wow. Yeah. Sometimes it works. I really think it's 6 months are missing, and everybody said, well, he must be on a secret mission from the Queen. And the fact is, he probably was. It was probably the time he was going up the California coast and the northwest coast of the United States, looking for a Northwest Passage. That's what everybody wanted, so he didn't have to deal with the Spanish going through the Atlantic. So what she's done, though, is said, well, let's suppose he wasn't there for that, and he instead heard about this Aram of the Pillars, the city of Brest, Ubar, this lost city in the Rubal-Khali Desert. And those 6 months, he was there. He actually came right up to the southern Arabian Peninsula, got off the boat, and was looking. And where he would have heard about the city is due to the Crusades. And those dates escape me, but we're going to go with that. Now you set that side over here. The next side is T.E. Lawrence of Arabia, who, as a young boy, had a fascination with the Crusades. Did a full-on... that's okay, we'll let you get you... Hold it. We're going to wait. I'm holding holding so you can edit.
Can you do a T-pose, please?
The T-pose, yeah.
You know what's funny? We just put it in the book because we're looking at some of the pictures, and I don't know if you ever knew this. In the horse sequences, we had the boxes with the saddles. We were allowed to T-pose in the saddle.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it was cowboy T-pose.
More like that, I suppose.
Wow. Well, we didn't have to kick our legs out.
Yeah.
So, watch this. Watch how this works. So let's set Drake over here. Now the second part of that is T.E. Lawrence, and where he comes in is as a young boy he was just fascinated with the Crusades. Actually did a bicycle tour, which I'm really envious of. A bicycle tour through France, looking at all the Crusader sites when he was like 14 or 15 years old, and of course famously came out to Jordan in this area and went to Crusader sites. So now we have two basically historical hooks that are based in reality. And what she's done is then we get into a game. And it becomes T.E. Lawrence had found clues in France about this lost city. Sir Francis Drake had some clues. Our hero, Nathan Drake, finds a way to get both of those clues. So at some point during this game, he has what Lawrence had, and he has what Drake had. And now he's going to go find this lost city. Now, of course, we need an antagonist, and enter Catherine Marlowe. Catherine Marlowe, who I think is fantastic because it's a female antagonist, played by Rosalind Ayers, who's just another one of those actors that you get to work with that just makes you better because you have to, or you look stupid. And now they're fighting who can get there first, and there's intrigue and gunplay and puzzle solving, and it's just a romp. And the great thing about this movie, since so many people consider it like a movie, is it's your movie. I saw something at Eurogamer Expo that just blew me away. I was with my wife in London. We saw this. We were walking into the Earl's Court to the Eurogamer Expo, and I saw this big billboard of Uncharted 3. Nathan Drake looking out into the Rue Colony, and I said, "Look at that." And she read it. She went, "Oh, make history." I said, "No, read it again." And she looked again, and it said, "Make his story." And I was like, "Wow." It just really. It was, whoever put that together, was it you?
It was me.
Okay, somebody in marketing put that together. It was brilliant. Make his story.